Janet about it? That'd be great.
I do. I'm very curious about this. It's a significant change in the way that films get out into the world. And typically, the path is festival, then theatrical, then VOD or other platforms. In this case, with Joe, with your film, you made a decision, having worked with IFC a couple times already, you made a decision to bring the film to Festival Direct at the same time that you're bringing it to the festival.
Yes.
Why?
Well, I think, you know, working pretty much entirely outside of any industry, just kind of making these movies with my own money and with friends of mine, you know, this now being the third time that I've worked with IFC, you know, I just sort of watched with Hannah Takes the Stairs and Nights and Weekends. These movies sort of have a moment where I feel like they have attention, people are reading about them and looking at them, and with those two movies I felt like that moment was always the festival premiere, or the world premiere. And then it was frustrating for me 6 months or however many months later, then to try and recreate that moment and to try and get that attention back when we already had it. And with Hannah, we were really successful in getting that attention back, but that meant doing the festival at the IFC Center and some things like that. And with Nights and Weekends, we were a lot less successful getting that attention back. And because I'm not precious about a theatrical release, and because I just want people to see my work, I felt like we should capitalize on that moment, which I know will be in March when the film premieres at South by Southwest. It's so hard. I mean, for my friends and I, it's so hard for us to have to be at a specific place at a specific time the way the typical theatrical works. And also with Hannah Takes the Stairs, when we open it in several cities, it's hard to open a movie for a week and to just sort of, you know, have it show 4 or 5 times a day and not really know who's going to come. And I did my best to travel to those cities and do Q&As, but I realized that, you know, the smarter way to do the theatrical release on films like mine is to make it an event, and that we could make more money and draw more people to one screening if we made an event out of it than we could to, you know, 25 screenings over the course of a week. It's just sort of sitting there at a theater waiting for people to come. So when we talked to IFC about Alexander the Last, the idea was to make it available immediately when we sort of have our festival moment, and then instead of week-long theatrical runs, to do these special screenings in different cities so that we still have the theatrical experience for people who want to see the film that way, but we're not locked in to, you know, Monday at 7:45, somebody having to be available. And I just know, you know, I mean, I just know from my own viewing habits, and I have younger brothers who are even more extreme about it than me, but, you know, I mean, if they want to see the movie and they can't see it, they will try through legal venues, and then, you know, then the next logical way to see the movie you want to see is to download it. So why not make it available if people my age are going to try and find it the other way anyway?
I know you're a producer of your own work, and there are other producers and filmmakers in the room, a number of them here today. Can you speak to your own experience with IFC in the previous 2 films, and how you've, from a producer's point of view, felt about the revenue that you've been able to generate from these other outlets, and how that is maturing, if at all, and sort of what your, again, sort of what your expectations were, if they've met your expectations, or what's been changed, or what's changed for you?
Yeah, well, with Hannah Takes the Stairs, I went in without expectations, really, because I mean, this was, I don't even know how many years ago. What long ago was Hannah Takes the Stairs? 2 years ago?
No.
A year ago?
Matt Denver's in the room. He can tell us what year that was.
Last year.
A year ago?
A year
ago August.
A year ago
August.
Okay.
Yeah, we did the year ago August.
15 months ago. I had no idea, you know, sort of how many people knew what VOD was, how movies would do. And I was shocked at how many people saw my film that way. And, you know, I mean, meanwhile, all of my energy, mentally and physically, was devoted to getting on airplanes and flying to these cities and calling my friends and trying to get people to show up to the theaters. And, you know, like, a month later, I realized everybody who saw the movie saw it on VOD. A lot more people than I ever imagined would see it. And so with Nights and Weekends, it was much more of our emphasis. So we did a week-long run in New York, mostly for reviews and just to get, just to sort of give people a chance to know that the movie had been released. But by that point, all of my focus was on telling people that it was available, in their living room if they wanted to watch it that way. And so with Alexander, we're just going to push even further in that direction. I want people to see the work, and it's crazy to try and get them to come see it in a way that's, that is more expensive and makes less sense time-wise and everything else when they're already watching them VOD. The audience is already there, It's like sort of like saying, like, no, don't watch it there, come watch it here.
Makes sense.